Welcome back to StarSeries iLeague. We have an incredible third map finish between NiP and Na'Vi. And I don't think anyone can predict this one. I don't think anyone could have predicted the way the series would have gone to this point. The home map's being traded between Na'Vi and NiP. If you missed it, Dust2 went to NiP fairly convincingly. They looked really good. Then Na'Vi just blowing NiP out the water pretty much with a very strong CT side and then finishing it off and denying the comeback on Nuke. Now we go to Mirage, James. And both of these teams have found a relative home, I would say, on Mirage. It fits them both very well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be favouring Na'Vi in this particular map, but again, they won each other's picks. So I think everything goes out the window now, and it's just it's an experience that we will have to absorb together. And one thing that's going to be important, though, is simple. He's very comfortable on Mirage. Again, what's important is he's one of the CT snipers who could be anywhere, basically. He's not terribly concerned with the mid position. He expects to be smoked off. He's been vocal about that. He's not like a magnet in that area. Oh, well, there's a long range in window. I'm supposed to be in window. Let me just stand there while the smoke's there. No, he's going to be all over the place, and he's going to be a problem, as we saw with that ace on Nuke. So that's going to be a giant issue for Ninjas in Pyjamas to deal with. But again, I think stylistically, Draken is an interesting sniper for this particular matchup. So there's something to be said about what he's able to do as well. But obviously, his spot is more awkward on Ninjas in Pyjamas, and I don't know how much flexibility he is going to have in response when they're on the CT side.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's going to be. I've kind of forgot about the fact that mostly what I've seen from NiP is not with Draken, but with Dennis instead.
Yeah.
That said, Dennis was struggling on NiP regardless, so he seemed to find difficulty in most spots. So at least there is that. Draken does have that explosive potential to just absolutely go off, and with all the options that this map has, it's not awkward like Nuke. I think Nuke's one of those maps where you do have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. And unless your skill is just so ridiculous, like simple, you have to, or like Kenny S, for example, some of the AWPers that are more famous on being able to deliver the impossible on Nuke. It's difficult. It can be difficult. Mirage is not that map. It's the map that if you're going to play a pug, probably going to end up on Mirage. So you're going to be very familiar with all the angles, all the timings. You can get aggressive everywhere on the T side and the CT side. There's options everywhere.
He's got a pink mouse bungee as well, simple.
Yeah.
I think, is that the kind of girly mouse that was recently released? Because I feel like it is a similar shape to a normal mouse, if you will, or a common mouse, but I think there's some slight differences to it, which would put me off because I don't like changing my equipment.
I forget. I think it's one of the NRG players that has the same combo. Both the pink bungee and it's someone else I saw already.
I'm liking it, man. I like a splash of color. It's always good because we live in a world of black peripherals.
It's true.
So it's nice to get some contrast in there. But I feel like it looks like a glossy type, which if you're, I guess that can have pros and cons depending on the type of hand you have. If you have a clammy hand or whatever.
Well,
do you have a clammy hand, Dan?
It doesn't tend to be too much of an issue, but on LAN, when the nerves start to set in, you do get more of a perspiration response, a sweat response.
Perspiration thing.
So your hands will get colder, but they'll get that cold sweat going if you get really if that's anxiety's building up in any way, and that can just happen. It's normal. I mean, you see Xantares, he has a glossy mouse. He wipes it. He wipes the mouse consistently.
Pretty much every round. So from what we've seen.
Yeah, and honestly, I think there's more to be experimented. Actually, I think actually this year I've seen people experimenting with grip tapes a lot. And I actually think there's a lot to be said for stuff like that. So we'll see if people experiment more.
Where would you put it, like on the side, or for the palm? Because there's a few different places where you could put tape on a mouse.
I think it really just depends wherever you take contact on your mouse. So I think that's where you'd want to stick it ultimately. Just reduce the amount or increase the amount of friction so you have more control, less slipping, and so on and so forth. And the sweat perhaps will be less of a factor.
I feel like with certain materials that mice are made from, when they just get worn down a little bit from wear and tear and general use, it can make the surface a little weird, and that's where things are not so comfortable.
Like when you're like a slightly rubberized surface and the rubber starts to go away, stuff like that.
Yeah, a few different things can happen. So it's something that should not be overlooked by manufacturers.
I believe NiP just won the knife round, so
they did indeed.
They are going to likely switch onto the CT side, one would imagine. Indeed, they will. So NiP will be starting off on the CT side. Na'Vi will be starting off on the T side of Mirage, and this is really cool for me because I've looked at Na'Vi's Mirage quite a few times recently in more depth, and it's kind of interesting. They don't play as much of a default style typically as some teams do. They like to really condition their opponents and set expectation, and I think that's one of the strengths of Zeus as a caller at this level, and there's not many teams that can kind of do it as well. And then when you have a player like Simple, who is someone you can set up, it works really well in that kind of a calling style. So we'll see how it pans out against NiP, because it can have different reactions against different teams. So here it is. I think we're about to get things started here on the pistol round between NiP and Na'Vi. This is the third and final map between these two teams, and I think it's impossible to separate these two. I have no idea which way this is going to go. I think I'd be edging Na'Vi slightly, but honestly, it's so slight, James.
Right then, let's see what Na'Vi have to offer on their T side. Double P250, double raid boss. Zeus has really taken the L this time. Simple and Electronic with the P250s for the extra range. Just shy of double the one-shot range on a pistol round over a Glock, so really important, always have been. That flashbang needs to be a god flash. Zeus has it in hand. He'll want his teammates to be close to the choke points before he throws it. Don't know if somebody's peeking the balcony just yet, so they're around the corner and they start to move. The footsteps will be heard by Lecro. They have to frag out. Get Right's got a defuse kit and a smoke grenade. Draken to the flank already in the underpass, but can he get there fast enough because they're swarming onto the B bomb site? Just one frag so far though. So you staying up top, but when you look at behind him in timely fashion, he will, but he'll get wrecked. They will be trades. Electronic with 2. That P250 coming in handy. There's another person in the apartments though.
Yeah, will Electronic expect this? I mean, he's in position to check. Oh, that's a beautiful flick coming in from Rez. As he pushes forwards, he's giving Forrest a chance now for a 1v1 in the market. So it's 2 1v1s, but Rez doesn't know where his 1v1's going to be. I don't know if Edward's revealed his position just yet. There it is. Rez has a chance, but Edward will take him down in the end. Nice round from Na'Vi. NiP were playing somewhat of a retake style there on the B-bomb site, and it didn't end up panning out for them. Will we get a force buy from them though? There is a world where you do that on this map because you want the you want the strongest 4 buy coming into that first buy rounds. But maybe they go for a save. I mean, on Mirage, one of the cool things about Mirage is you can make a lot of different things work, and that's kind of why I like watching it so much.
I don't know if you can make a P250 and 4 USPs work though.
Well,
but there's always that, you know, that odd situation. But I don't expect it versus the likes of Na'Vi. Get right, going for a push, trying to do what he can. Simple's down to half health, so maybe there is a frag to be had by Ninjas in Pyjamas. Indeed there is, and another ding-dong as well. Well, there's a ding, but there's no dong just yet. Flamey is still alive with his 11 HP, some pre-fire. He gets out of the position, and Zeus can take his place with the SMG. So that was getting a little awkward. I think there's a rifle to collect from Simple. I think he had an AK-47. Maybe it's been collected already. Yeah, it has. Flamey out of there now with the AK-47, and the rest will be cleaned up by Zeus. He gets the MP7 upgrade. MP7, literally a better gun than the MP5. The silencer is the difference, but I think you'd be more inclined to use that on the CT side, if any. Always nice to see a whiteout MP7. So
Draken's picked up the AWP without any Kevlar, so he's got glass cannon. He's got a smoke as well. Where is he going to go? It looks like he's got a pretty good spawn towards the bench and connector, so he's just going to play it really simple to begin with, looking over connector. That is incredible. What a shot from Draken. That is not bad at all. It's kind of a dodgy angle to peek into as well, because it's so easy for the T's to pre-aim that, as they do get to that position first, unless you go out the window.
You can have a teammate flash over the roof of connector from the A-bomb site. I don't know if that was the case in that particular situation. And Draken's moving up the mid position as well, and Edward's holding an off angle, so there could be an engagement here, but Edward may look past this angle. The jiggle works actually, but he chooses to fall back Edward. There was support from Forrest as well, so that could have been volatile for Na'Vi. A man down already. Zeus in the palace, Flamey on T-ramp, but the bomb's being collected by the likes of Edward. I'm sure he'll join his teammates towards T-ramp, and Electronic will be top mid now.
Still 5 here for NiP left standing so far. That's good news for them. But Na'Vi is starting to converge on the A bomb side. They've got the Lurker and Electronic on middle, top middle. And Gerrit could be really instrumental here, but there's no nades really to support him, so he's got to just win the heads-up duels. He can't do it. Flamey picks up the frag, and now there's a solid shot here for Na'Vi, but then again, the nades are just not really there for either side. Actually, 2 smokes remaining here for Na'Vi to get the bomb down, but that's a beautiful spray to deny the plant, and that's huge because there's so few players, so little time. Someone has to go out of position to grab the bomb, and the smokes have to be redeployed to cover Flamey here. That's wasted so much time. That is such a high-value play from Rez.
Oh my god, just as he plants the bomb, Flamey gets shot in the head. He was down to 4 HP. He made the hero play. Electronic trades a kill from the short position. He's there for the post-plant spot, but they know where he is now. He will jump into the window. I think he was heard by Lekro. There's no smokes for ninjas in pajamas at this point, so they need to get onto the bomb eventually. Draken holding connector. Lekro with the wide peek. There is a touch of the bomb, and he's playing a headshot position Electronic, or he could do, but he's gone up top instead, straight into the embracing arms of Draken. Who knows, if he had gone on the stairs, only his head would have been showing, and who knows what would have happened. But there we go. There we are. Close already in round number 3, and there's plenty of Counter-Strike to come.
I thought for a second that Electronic was just thinking about saving, and then he got a kill, and he's like, oh, actually, hang on. And they weren't defusing either, so... NiP, that was a really nice hold. Again, they didn't have any nades. That kill from Rez was so key, and then for more damage to come through the smoke on the next plant attempt was really an annoyance for Na'Vi. So let's see if NiP can keep up this this pace. We've got double AWPs here straight away. You don't often see a CT side immediately go to double AWPs, so that's going to be interesting to behold.
It was an opportunist double AWP. I believe they picked up the second one that Na'Vi were carrying at the end of the last round. That's always the best way to do it. Save yourself some money.
But this might be the best way to deal with it. This looks like a set piece coming into the A site.
Saw the flashbang that Rez threw over the roof earlier on. That's what I was talking about. That particular one obviously is so if the Na'Vi were going for a fast play top mid, that would deter them. But anyway, there's an execute coming into the A site now. If you've got Molotov in this position, it's nice to throw it towards Tetris. It gives Na'Vi less area to hide behind. But they've moved Flamey into the stairs position, and we can see they're swarming all over. They've moved beyond the choke points, and the frags are raining in for Na'Vi, and there's no response whatsoever from Ninjas in Pajamas. Lekro left with an AWP. All his friends have been deleted. No one's answering the phone. Nobody to talk to, but the ball called Wilson. We'll see what else he can do in this situation. He's being flanked already by Edward. Electronic's on the B-bomb site for some reason. He gets his bell rung as well. There we go. Just a 1 kill for Ninjas in Pajamas. So far, so good for Na'Vi.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where things get really dangerous. I was talking before about Na'Vi, how they have this style of play where it's not very default-based. We're already seeing some of that, where you just see, okay, we're just going to go for a set piece, straight away. There's not a lot of teams that at this level that will do that as much as they do, and it creates some problems because there's spots where you won't be confident to take middle because you're afraid that they could just hit a fast timing on a bomb site, and that allows them to take middle for free in other rounds. Or there'll be rounds where they'll have so much mid presence that you'll be forced to want to put players in mid early on, and then they hit a fast play on one of the sites straight away. So it's this mind games that Na'Vi are able to play so effectively that can really make them difficult to deal with on this T side of theirs. And once they get control of the money like this, that's when you're at their mercy. And so I'm worrying for NiP. And obviously in this round, there's not too much they can do. They just have a Deagle and 4 USPs. So we would expect Na'Vi to get to 4 before there's a response from NiP. But maybe they can get some cheeky kills, get some value out of this Deagle.
In a choke point of short, looking towards the back of B. They've got no lurker in the apartments. Rez is on the flank at the moment, and Na'Vi don't yet have a kill. They've got the entire team in the mid position, and they've been there for quite a while, which is compromising what they can do. I think that if Na'Vi had a lurker in B apartments, they would have pushed B right now. Electronic has found a way to clear some of the A sites, but they are losing players still all stuck in the mid position. 39 seconds on the clock. It's getting even more awkward. Zeus with 2 HP. Simple with 27 carrying the bomb. Where is he off to? Off to the B bomb site with 30 seconds on the clock. Rez has gone back towards A. He's in the Palace position now. And Forrest, the only player on B. Up close. It's going to be a close one. He hears the scope. That could have been everything if Forrest picks up an AWP in that spot. But it seems that the crisis will indeed be averted for Na'Vi. They started with 5 people in mid on the anti-eco, which is fair enough. But they were there for so long. That could have been more ugly, but it doesn't matter anymore. 4-1 for Na'Vi. NiP back on the buy. Draken gets Kevlar with his AWP this time.
Yeah, and GetRight and Forest yet to get onto the scoreboard, having a tough one at this point. GetRight is the anchor of the A bomb side as well, and this is the problem actually, because a lot of these spots, GetRight's probably going to be isolated and almost playing by himself, stuck, with his teammates stuck behind smokes when these executes come in. But if we look at the setup here, Flamey's gone straight to the Palace position. Na'Vi playing, ooh, denied, absolutely denied there, trying to go aggressive in mid. NiP and Simple will not allow that. So Na'Vi, they're playing, again, a passive setup here so that they can deal with aggression such as this. And with Forest going down, now there's lots of problems. What if Flamey just decides to walk out onto the A-bomb site when there's action elsewhere? And look at, and we have Electronic here now trying to harass. Can he get any mileage towards B? Na'Vi have lots of options. Oh, Electro cannot die to Electronic here. He cannot die.
Yeah, help is nowhere close. He'll be radioing for a helicopter. Rez taken out in the mid position. You can see the Crimson, the catch-up on the wall. Flamey and Edward moving towards top mid at the minute mark. Draken taking some pot shots through the smoke. And this is what you talked about. When the snipe, when Draken is smoked off in the window, what are Ninjas in Pyjamas going to do? I feel like Simple is going to be very efficient when the roles are reversed, but for now the focus is on Ninjas in Pyjamas. 3 versus 5, 2 of the players over towards the B bomb site, and Na'Vi are slowly filing into that position. GetRight, is he willing to rotate all the way towards B? Someone spotted to that B bomb site. Flamey's been taken out. Draken still holding angles. Had to hit that shot. There was a trade, but the trades will continue, leaving GetRight alone, out of position, making it to the market, but he's got no angle for the bomb. Looking towards default, there is a player by the van. Simple's going to walk straight into the angle and take him out, of course. Doesn't matter if you're holding it first. Simple is Simple. I'm telling you, he is the personification of an aimbot.
Yeah, he's pretty bold with this place. And that's going to be a 5-1 scoreline. Really well played by Na'Vi. Again, like, it's so cool. Like, Na'Vi were reading the money really well. This is what I was talking about. So I said, like, one of the problems is that when they get money control, they can read what money you have, which means that they know what options you have. So I think in that previous round, it's, Na'Vi are thinking, well, it's likely that NiP, they can get the rifles, but they're not going to have a lot of utility. They're going to want to get an aggression somewhere. And so they just hold a passive setup, and they get fortunate enough to catch Forest straight in the face with that AWP pick from Simple, and then they just play the advantage from that point forward. So it'd be very interesting to me what Na'Vi decide to do in this following rounds, presumably if they are able to take this without issue. We can't forget the previous Deagle 4 USP round, which looked a little bit hairy. But this is a good start from Na'Vi in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if Na'Vi just like contacts into the A site or something like that. Something a bit surprising, just abandon the default. We'll have to see what it looks like. Crow made a name for himself with the Deagle for such a long time. It'd be good to see it here as well. It made an appearance actually on Nuke for a couple kills.
Forest will hear Electronic running through the underpass. Is that telling of what is going on with 40 seconds on the clock? Lecro and the Deagle, only good for the 1 kill on this occasion. Electronic stuck in connector for a time, and Rez is in the smoke. Do they know he's there? Has he fired a bullet yet? Doesn't look like he has. Just trying to buy time. Flamey up top's going to get taken out. That smoke will soon go, but the spray will be enough. Trying to reposition and punished. These anti-eco rounds look difficult for Na'Vi, but they are winning them 6-1. They're in a pretty good spot. Those are some crazy odds for this map, and there's plenty of time for recovery. So if you believe in Ninjas in Pyjamas, then maybe.
Yeah, and another thing too about this matchup is I don't know how much research Na'Vi have done. Obviously, Mirage is a map that can definitely come up in this series, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have read into some of the demos that they would have seen of NiP recently. But adding Draken to the mix does make things a little bit more complicated, perhaps. And you can see they go passive in this round again to open it up with. The only forward player is, in fact, Electronic. But he's not really doing anything. He's on the steps of the underpass. So Na'Vi with a very delayed timing at the moment. In towards top mids. Have not really crossed just yet. Still yet to make it to the boxes. That's going for the peak against Flamey, and that is not going to go his way. That's a problem, James. It's over a minute left, and Na'Vi actually have been given a pick.
Yeah, and they have presence across the entire map. Electronics lurking and showing presence, throwing grenades towards that B bomb site, which will keep Forest and Electro entertained. It's pop flash from Forest for Electro to have a look, but as you can see, Electronics in a relatively safe place. The bomb now moving away from the A site, and Get Right is starting to push the ramp, so his timing's pretty perfect. And with 45 seconds left, well, Draken's looking for a push through CT at the moment, but he's starting to move towards that B bomb site. Palace is the question mark. Zeus is there, but the other four for Na'Vi are towards this B bomb site, trying to creep out with little to no warning. Electronic with a spray. There is a trade from the van position. That's going to keep Na'Vi in this choke point for a while, and Draken is just waiting for an opportunity. But Simple up close for an AWP will shut things down. Zeus's Flamey remain now versus Draken and Get Right. 16 seconds to plant the bomb. Zeus is flanking Get Right, who's flanking Flamey, who's trying to plant the bomb with no cover, and Draken's around the corner, and the bomb's being planted. But they've got the high ground advantage though with Get Right, and Zeus is still miles away.
Yeah, this is a really awkward spot here for Na'Vi. Can they hold on? And Get Right looms from above here from the apartments, and he's got a free one. Looks for the next player, just takes the guaranteed kill, and lines up the second. Zeus able to trade it out, though. But Draken, he's got to get on that bomb. He's got to get on the defuse, but it's planted for him in a spot where he can just scope and hold the defuse. Oh, he's trying to fake it out here. He's trying to do it, but it's not going to work out. Draken holds his nerve. Very well played there from Draken, and he will pick up the second round for NiP. He's 10-6 now. He's definitely getting the kills, but the rounds are being... Na'Vi are making it really awkward every single round for NiP.
Yeah, and that win from Ninjas in Pyjamas will help them, but look at the buy they have. They're going to end up with a worse buy despite winning the round, which is an issue with limited success. 2 French guns for Get Right and Forest versus the 4 AK-47s on the Na'Vi side. Not an ideal situation to say the least, but they can make it work. They're pretty light on grenades as well. But they had some good information plays in that round. Get Right pushing T-ramp, getting the players over towards the B-bomb site. Just about worked out for them.
You can see Na'Vi in this round just abandoning the default pretty much straight away to go into a set piece on A. So we've seen Get Right struggling in this position because he gets isolated, and typically there's not many flashbangs to support him. Look at the flashbang situation for NiP here. There's one on Rez and one on Draken. So Get Right's going to have to just fight with nothing. And if he gets Molotov, he doesn't have a smoke to get rid of the Molotov. So he's in a really bad spot if Na'Vi execute this well. But 2 opening kills coming in. Draken and Get Right do connect. That is fantastic work. Simple misses an awkward shot, and Rez going straight out there. They're going to snowball this into Electronic, but he is standing tall there. 2 quick kills as 2 more NiP players will avail themselves. Electronic still very healthy. Goes for the final peek, but Lecro nails him. That was so close.
That was absolutely wild. I wonder what information Forrest was playing on to go through the smoke like that in a 2 versus 1. He is 0 for 9 at the moment. But there we go. There's another round 1 for Ninjas in Pyjamas. No plant for Na'Vi, and it looks like NiP may have broken the money. They've opened the door for a comeback in the situation. A late tactical pause called by Electronic to discuss what to do, perhaps. Not many players survive for NiP, so maybe there's a potential call for some kind of buy.
I'm curious how the evolution of mid will go in this first half, actually, because one thing that Forrest likes to do is he likes to push catwalk on the CT side. He really, or middle in general, like NiP like to fight in middle. And so far what Na'Vi have been showing us is that they've been denying that playstyle that NiP enjoy to play, which is to fight early on. It's just been really slow, just waiting for aggression, then they just attack a bomb site somewhere. And oftentimes, actually, they've gotten picks doing that. They got a pick on Rez when he jumped up onto stairs. They got a pick on Forrest, actually, as he pushed up middle. Right now, NiP, they want to play a pace that Na'Vi are denying them.
Yeah, and the slow takes of mid from Na'Vi in most rounds where they've ventured into mid helps hide a 5-man execute into an A bomb site when they haven't had presence elsewhere, because you don't know if they're about to start moving into the mid position. So they've set up their rounds for the long term quite well in that respect. Edwards by the chair position already in this particular round though, so it seems there's a change of pace from Na'Vi. They have gone for the force buy after all. They've got next to no grenades, 3 AK-47s, a Deagle on Simple, and the Galil on Zeus. Edward will be left in situ in that mid position. while the bomb is collected and taken towards A with the remainder of the players. I feel like they're going to simply walk into the A bomb site. They don't really have much other option. There is one smoke grenade, but I think no warning and trade fragging is the order of the day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. NiP are definitely fearing the attack into a bomb site, and here it comes. Actually, attack onto Electronic there, but Draken will take some hits, as will Get Right. This, oh my god, Simple is bodying people with a Deagle. 3 quick Deagle frags, and all of a sudden, it's all falling apart for NiP. Na'Vi was so weak on their buy, they had no utility. They had to just walk in and frag, and that's absolutely what Simple just delivered for them. Forest is alone with an AK-47. Oh, God.
There will definitely be some people at home who will be saying, especially after the performance on the previous map, why is Simple on a Desert Eagle while everybody else is on a rifle? That's why. That is a real thing which you can have reasonable expectation for, that Simple's going to find some headshots. So it actually works. As bizarre as it seems on paper, the man's just got so much skill that that is just a thing that they have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and you're right as well. You know, we're talking about just the conditioning and how NiP, they completely gave up middle for free in that last round as well, because there are, you know, there's so many slow rounds from Na'Vi that it is, you kind of you're afraid of that just set piece being set up. So Na'Vi really have NiP in the palms of their hands at the moment, wrapped around their little finger. But rounds like that are not really supposed to go so cleanly, so that's a problem as well.
Well, with Draken holding a scout, it's going to be a hard task on the A-bomb site. I think Get Right had looked the wrong way at the wrong time. So A was compromised pretty swiftly. We've got a 1 dig from Lecro, but it may be a small highlight in a Na'Vi-dominated round. A nice pop flash into the ladder room. Great teamwork. Organisation from Na'Vi as they continue to take map control, reducing the number of places ninjas in pyjamas can hide in.
These have been the harder rounds for Na'Vi as well, these anti-eco rounds. With 3 Deagles and a P250, there could be some mileage here for the NiP side, as they've already found 1 kill. However, Simple picks up another one, second for the rounds, and now there's more openings towards this A-bomb site. But Na'Vi don't have enough information to know whether or not there's a stack there still. There could be 2, 1, 3, 0. It's hard to know. Lecro, is he going to get backstabbed here? Ooh, just about. Edward will take him out, and I think that's going to be it then. Indeed, Edward finishes Forest, and Get Right left for the P250. Maybe Get Right can get a sneaky kill and steal away a gun. That's kind of the best case scenario.
I would say with 14 seconds on the clock, there was a world. It's very far away, Dan. But there's a world where if he kills that guy on a ramp, then who the hell knows? One being planted for short, awkward.
Well,
Forrest hasn't got a kill yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though. Like NiP have been struggling massively, and it's all down to the approach that Na'Vi are taking, the way that they're playing the map. And like Forrest can't be aggressive. He can't get any aggressive kills. And NiP don't really ever, like in the rounds that they have won, when they have had guns, they never quite have much utility. It's kind of like Dust 2, although they made Dust 2 work much better without utility. And that means that they have to play really passively, and that really helps Na'Vi. We've seen that there's been a couple overextensions in rounds like that where Na'Vi take full advantage and then play an easy fight, well, play a 5 versus 4 advantage. So NiP have to play a patient style of CT Mirage against Na'Vi, and it's been tough.
Yeah, they with 4 rounds remaining, this is a hairy situation for Ninjas in Pyjamas. 3 rounds is just not enough from your CT side of Mirage. We can see the angles that both teams are playing. Simple towards Palace on this occasion as a flashbang for Zeus to cross. Very, very careful. Na'Vi will take it. They've eked out some of the CT grenades. Again, this is at least the 3rd round where there've been 4, 5 people towards A for Na'Vi. Not always successful necessarily, although they expect it to be. It's a 5 versus 2 in this situation if they go anytime soon.
And this is the thing, like you made the point before, James, like Na'Vi, the way they open up the T side, they would just play so slow. Like, you're afraid to push because they could just be waiting for you, or this is happening. So you can't do anything. You just have to wait. And here it comes once again, these A set pieces that they've been so reliable for them. Can Geralt get something out of this? No, he gets denied, absolutely. It's got to be down to Rez now.
Once the Seas get a sandwich, they will see him, or elevated from Tetris, it'll be the same thing. There's just no answer. There's no solution to this puzzle on the A bomb sites at the moment, it seems. The bomb needs to get planted while the smokes are up. Some continuation spray from Edward, some preemptive bursting will get himself a kill. The smokes have gone, but it's a 3 versus 1. They know where the last player is. Natus spray is there, but there's no trade just yet. Forest finally on the scoreboard, but Electronic will rip his frickin' face off straight on the head. That looked absolutely nasty.
That was just the first bullet, wasn't it? That's nuts. Electronic is so good. Oh, wow. Oh, God, it's so brutal. It's just, the cool thing about this is that Na'Vi are, like, from a strategy point of view, they're outplaying NiP really hard, and NiP just don't really have quite the response, and it's difficult to find it, honestly. This is one of Na'Vi's best maps for a reason. I remember Team Liquid getting absolutely demolished by this at the Major as well, by Na'Vi playing this style of Mirage on the T side. I was really impressed by how they did that. And NiP are struggling in the same way that Liquid did. The Liquid did get a few more rounds, but still, it was tough. And NiP can absolutely make the comeback. They are a quality team, and they are going to get some damage out in the middle. And finally, Krieg to be collected.
Have a look at this, though. We've got 2 Ts making their way through the B bomb site, but the bomb is in T spawn. Flamey doesn't know if the path is safe, especially because they just lost a rifle top mid. However, it is safe, but he doesn't know that. He's on his own, which makes things precarious. I don't know that NiP are going to get into a position to really abuse this, however. Flamey's made his way into the apartments now. But where is Forest? Is he on the underpass, or is he on short? He's on the short position, so if he gets a kill here, then who the hell knows what happens. All the Ts are here. They're entertaining Forest, but this is giving Rez time to rotate into the market position. Forest still alive, and with that presence, he seems to be rotating.
He killed the bomber in the apartments. Now Rez has space to get through market.
Exactly.
Oh my God, there's a chance here, but oh God, Forest still keeps it alive. Picks up the bomb, he's going to reposition. This is a genius play, but will it work out for him?
Well, oh my God, if there's a short plant, look at him, he's there already. Electronic has no idea. He's starting to plant the bomb, I do believe. Okay, he's going for the corner, but he could just back up. Forest is not sure if it's a default plant. Oh, Electronic just starting to wonder now. Just in time. Great play from Forest. Parkour for days. Back and forth they go. Very interesting situation with the frag top mid and what could have been and what might not have been, and the lack of information for Na'Vi, the rotation of the bomb, the frags from Forest, the play from Rez. But ultimately, it's 10-3 Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's. I think we get. Do we get a double AWP again? I think we do get a double AWP from NiP. That was another round where Electronic denies Forest the final kill for the clutch, and Forest has had a slow game, but you can see that he's still sharp. But Electronic's been so much to deal with, and we get double AWPs here. A different approach also from Na'Vi. We're going to see some players through the underpass once again, denying Draken with that smoke at the bottom of Con, and Draken wants to try to get some damage back, and he will, but he's been critically wounded, has to back away himself, and that's a frustrating position to be in. But look at the pace here. Na'Vi have not been showing this pace so far. A player straight into the window. It's Electronic, of course. You would never expect him to be there at that time in the round, and now Na'Vi have completely separated the defense. 2 on B, isolated away from the players on A.
The timing from Na'Vi in this T side has been really, really awesome to watch. Kind of reminds me of the classic versus pro, what I used to do on the CT side of Mirage. You never quite know what they were up to if they come charging at you. Man advantage after the trade in favor of Na'Vi. They're moving through connector with the bomb. Electronic's basically in the window position as well, but they don't really have cover from CT. So there's more work to be done, and Lekro's going to be a problem. Now the bomb's isolated on the other side of the smoke, and Lekro's just spamming everywhere, filling all the inboxes. But there's still a man advantage for Na'Vi. They've got time to deal with this, to sort this out, but they're losing personnel. Lekro continuing to move away from the mid position as Simple creeps up on short.
Oh, I think Rez just made a step. I think, yeah, he made a step. I don't think Electronic knew about him, but now it's down to Lekro. He's gone for a big rotation. His position now completely unknown. He's going to waste a lot of time for them because they would expect with the bomb down where it is for him to be in mid somewhere. You can see he's Simple creeping. He's so afraid that he's top mid, covering Electronic to go for the plant, but Lekro is on the opposite side of the map, and I think that he realizes now he might get into position in time. Oh my God, he's behind. He's behind. Sometimes the X-ray is so misleading, James. You think there's a chance, but It's not going to be that one at least. Lecro will reposition through the window. They know roughly where he is now, and with an AWP, I don't know how he pulls this one off. Simple running away from Sandwich. I think Lecro did hear that though, but does he know where the second player is? Simple offering some entertainment there, the Molotov. In fact, actually, there's the peek to show him the second player. Oh, got to be careful there. Electronic doesn't want to overpeak this. Lecro can make this work. He goes for the defuse. Is he going to hold it? Electronic has to go forwards. No. Oh, he hits the shot, but there's no kit. That is so sad for NiP. What a clutch, a 4K from Lecro. Another crazy and very strange round, but no kit.
Yeah, I don't know why he went so deep, considering the time and the fact there wasn't a kit, unless he thought there was one somewhere, but I guess he would have picked it up. So there was a risk of losing the AWP for the last round of the half in that situation, but here we are. He manages to hold on to it. Again, the frag is virtually irrelevant at that point. Just about holding on to the AWP with the lost time. 3 rounds. The most they can ask for is 4 Ninjas in Pyjamas. They've got the MP9 on Draken. The forward positions on A have been a disaster for them, and they continue to be. That trade is not favorable for Ninjas in Pyjamas with 1:40 on the clock. That is not what you want when you're on the CT side.
The only bright side behind it, although, oh god, that's a very damaging nade. The only bright side is that it's an upgrading gun for Mr. Get Right. That's it, really. Forrest does pick one up, though, so nicely done. He's going to make it a 4 versus 3. Edward happy to face in the window position, and you better believe he's going to be very patient with that one. Look at that. The Krieg is doing what the Krieg is destined to do. Those long-range scoped duels against an AWP, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was somewhat telegraphed. Heard the Benton ladder in get broken. Completely blind though, and the score is evened again in terms of personnel. Forrest moving through Connector, and now Zeus has to try and plant the bomb. He can go for a default plant. He doesn't know if it's safe, but he has no choice anyway, so he's going to stick it. 1 versus 2. He knows an AWP is in play. Drops the smoke on the site. Now, he could actually have jumped on top of the box and looked over that smoke. It's a clutch play that I saw Apex do a very long time ago. But no, he'll move elsewhere.
The 1 versus 2 for Zeus. Would he deny NiP this? That would be so devastating for the Swedes. Zeus gets the first one. Here goes the second challenge. The spray's good. Oh no, NiP. They can't get that 4th round. You thought that maybe they would have had it in that 1 versus 2, but they don't get anything in this first half, James. Their CT side was all Na'Vi. Electronic with 23 kills.
23-4-8. Very strong half of Counter-Strike from Na'Vi. NiP on the back foot. And then some. They're on the edge of the cliff. They know it. They feel it. Forrest making a comeback. Got 9 frags in the end. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's someone who doesn't get too visibly phased by situations like that, 0 frags in 10 rounds and so on. He's just got too much experience.
Yeah.
And he knows that things could turn, the coin could flip at any time. But yeah, 3 rounds on the board for the team. Let's see how the pistol goes.
I think he knows as well. It's just like, it's just Na'Vi. They just don't give him any, he doesn't get any spots to play. And that's part of the problem, right? But, you know, the CT side is a different story for Na'Vi. If NiP can pick up that pistol, if they, like Na'Vi, can take control, initial control of the economy, there is absolutely a world where we see a sizable comeback from NiP. But it's a comeback which requires very few mistakes. And I think in the 3 rounds that NiP won, they survived with 1 player each time. They were just getting bodies left and right. They never had any money, ever. So here you go. NiP, they've got a couple of grenades on Lecro and Forrest. Couple P250s as well, and they're going to go for that B play, it looks like. But look at the stack here from Na'Vi. They are expectant of that B play.
With Na'Vi on 12 rounds, if NiP can keep them there for a while, then it's recoverable. But with pistol rounds, you have variance. So even if you try to keep your team focused on that goal, sports psychology, keep things positive and confident, if you lose the pistol, then that can all slip away very quickly indeed. So there's a bait set up towards the B apartments. Zeus jump peeking. Edward will hold the corner. He's actually facing the wall in case of a flashbang as well. And they've got Flamey for the window peek. When it comes to AWPs and so on around that B bomb site, we know that Simple is so nasty. And maybe that's to come, or maybe it'll be shut down earlier than that. We've got the grenade starting to stream in. The entire squad is here for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and Edward will be checked for. That's a pre-fire. Didn't even check if he was there, just fired the shot, and it's a headshot. 3 versus 3. Those youths can still do something. Simple's on the site. Electronic behind the smoke for now. Simple moving in ever so quietly, spotting one. Will reposition. Got to be so careful, though. He's terrifying. There's a headshot. Lekro still alive. Now he's gone. Forest 1 versus 2. He needs to deliver now. So far, so good. Got the P250 versus Electronic straight in the head. They needed that. They need him to do it as well. 3K. Great way for him to start the half. And again, now they can focus on keeping Na'Vi on 12.
Yeah, excellent stuff from Forest. He was against both Simple and Electronic. Electronic was his absolute nemesis on the last half as well. So many rounds, so many 1v1s where Forest would do so much work only to be shut down by Electronic. So indeed a great way to start it off. And it looks like NiP might just rush into the A bomb site. I respect it. And we got the force buy out from Na'Vi. They're all in middle. And so if NiP push in now, although there's the smoke to slow them down, but if they just go through it, then they would be in a great spot, but they can't know that. Behind that, that's the thing, that one smoke creates 100 questions, where otherwise there would be maybe none, and they could just move in. Could be CTs in any nook and cranny at this point, but they will be stuck behind the smokes. I like this, a set piece on the A bomb site versus the eco, or the force buy of Na'Vi.
Yeah, important mollies as well. Another one maybe taking a boost away. I love picking that position. Oh, that's the bomb planter as well. That's another tag. Oh no, the smokes have disappeared. This is disastrous, or it sounds like it might be. 4v4. You can try and calm things down. Oh my god, it's happening, Dan. Not like this. Simple again with the scout. He's unstoppable. He's got 3 kills so far. Rez in a 1 versus 4 with a UMP long-range spray.
No.
The headshot, of course. We saw the 4K with the scout from Nico. We see one from Simple as well.
Oh, how does he do that? How does he do this? Simple with the scouts. It looked perfect for NiP, but he found a foot, James. He shot it. The bomb dropped. There was panic. Gero picked it up. He threw it behind him so he could hold off the push. The bomb had to be collected by somebody else. People running all over the place. Another scout shot comes in. Oh, God. It was Simple. It's always... This guy is too much.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about being smoked off in the CT position as a sniper, is that if there's a gap in that smoke like that, you can do so much. And oh, I feel like the final deletion, Dan, may be upon us.
Simple is just a god of Counter-Strike. There's no other way to cut it. He just somehow finds value in the most unexpected places. Honestly, the way that NiP played that round was awesome. It was so awesome. We're going to see this. Yeah, so that was the first shot that really started to mess things up. Then the smokes go away. And so now there's like no cover. Get goes for a wide peek. Maybe that wasn't necessary, but whatever. I don't think that the round is going to be won at that point when the smokes have gone down. Oh no, and it's that's it. Now NiP are full saving, James. Okay, they got the, oh god, the clocks are out. The clocks are out, but they're full saving to play against match point, series point for so many rounds in a row.
They are not going to get close to these weapons, despite the 2 frags. 3-5 from Edward again. And we have 11 match points for Na'Vi. There was a candle, Dan. The candle was in the wind, then the candle was in a tornado, and that tornado was called Simple.
Oh my god.
Now the candle is gone.
Oh my god.
Can't even smell the wax. It's just gone.
He's such an exciting player because he just... like you get an expectation for how a round goes and how like the advantages are naturally and intuitively. And then he comes along and just like smashes that intuitive thinking and just creates value from nowhere. It's crazy. NiP full buy. That HE, oh god, that did so much damage. They're all getting wrecked now. They're going to contact through the smoke. Here it goes. Flamey with the M4 in shadow. The crossfires working out for a time, but it's a 3v3. NiP not looking too bad here. Where did that come from? Simple. Do you even have smokes? He's going straight through. This guy every time he takes a shot, James, smoke or no, I feel like a frag is going to happen.
Now what? Forest alone with 25 HP. Okay, that's something. Sees that with Scout doesn't last very long though. Zeus with the final frag. Call the cops because we got a crime scene on Mirage. Absolutely nasty play from Na'Vi. 16-4 over Ninjas in Pajamas. There was a brief chance, so brief for a moment, so brief, Dan.
Yeah, one of the amusing things about this is that typically, yeah, you want to select the CT side when you win the knife rounds because it feels good. But Na'Vi's T side is actually such a problem for people to deal with that maybe against Na'Vi you should just get your T side in so you can play it because theirs is damn strong. And at least on the CT side, they're more easy to dismantle. But that was a dismantling from Simple. What an absolute beast. He is something else. He did so many crazy plays. I mean, obviously Electronic on Mirage had the best performance overall across the board with the rifle, but Simple just drops in every so often with a just game-changing play.
Have you seen that video where there are some guys with like an eagle near a motorway and they release the eagle like, oh, now you can fly, and it flies straight at the motorway and gets hit by a truck? Basically, that round with the Scout, Simple is the truck. He's just like, oh, there's this hope and there's this nice feeling and we're going to see something nice, and just bam, it's all your hopes and dreams get splattered.
Crushed.
And everything just gets crushed. Everything you've built, everything you've dreamed about, just absolutely destroyed, deleted, set on fire and thrown into a dumpster, man. It was nasty. Congratulations to Na'Vi. They look super strong. Both teams won each other's maps, but yeah, just way too strong on Mirage.
That T side is. You got to give it to Na'Vi strategically. Their T side, no one else plays it quite like they do, and it's a struggle for everyone. There's a match again. Like if you want to see more of that, check out the matchup against Liquid on Mirage at the major. But it's time for us to go to a break and the desks to see their thoughts on that absolute carnage from Na'Vi.
Thank you, guys. James, you painted a perfect picture in every sense of it there. Oh. We were all having a little laugh at that one because that's pretty much the only way to describe it, right? Maybe not being as graphic
Eagle,
with it.
Highway, yeah. The only way you can describe it.
Yeah, I guess.
NiP, they started off in a position where we're thinking this could be the 2-0. This could be some NiP magic happening once again. But Na'Vi proved overall that they are the better team, not just individually, but in the teamwork sense like they were just describing there.
I think it's safe to say that when it comes down to the aspects of this game, I think NiP had better team play throughout the game. I think the only way that NiP got this close to a win was down to the fact that they were actually playing as a team and they were trying to play to their own strengths. Now, when you look into the other aspects of the game, which obviously is the individual skill level of the Na'Vi players, nobody from NiP were able to match that. Simple, as explained, had one hell of a game. Electronic and Mirage again showing up and showing why they're so a deadly combo together. Potentially the best combo out of all the combos that we have within the game. That's talking, to a device in the pre from Starladder as well. I think those two are close to Simple and Electronic in raw firepower, I guess. It's just insane to see sometimes how much these two guys can take over a game.
And I mean, just to add to that as well, I mean, Flamey was the one to have, the closest ADR to Electronic as well, also boasting above 100. I think Edward was at the same frag total as pretty much everyone else on the side as well. So it was just a collective effort from Na'Vi, but I agree, it's not necessarily, they don't find, even though you see everybody fragging, it's not the same way they come to that success as necessarily NiP would if they were to have a shot at this, or how they actually ended up winning Dust 2. It's a different type of playing Counter-Strike, but man, it is effective when they do get rolling. And it's really tough if you're NiP there, especially when you have so many rounds on that first half that do swing back and forth. Obviously, there's plenty of situations where Na'Vi end up in uneasy situations where it's a 2v3, but you have low HP members, on the side of Na'Vi, so it's you eke out victories here and there. I mean, they had, I think, a total of 3 1vx's that go their way throughout the first half, which again could swing them considering they have had streaks. You get the reset with how the new money system works. That could have been, I guess, NiP's way into it, and you would had a decent chance to play that T side, because I think what DDK brings up there is that Na'Vi's T side is so horrendously hard to play versus that you might want to get some chances to play your CT side, your T side yourself. If you want to have a shot at actually beating them. And if you lose out those crucial 1vx situations versus Na'Vi, that's not going to happen.
Well, it certainly didn't happen for these guys either. And when we're looking at it, right, we spoke about Electro stepping up, but it wasn't him that was struggling this time around. For a while, we saw Forrest down on like 0-10, but then all of a sudden he comes back for out of it, and he does it in true fashion, right? He comes back in style, but it was almost a little bit too late. And this is the problem we keep talking about with NiP. No one seems to be able to get the whole team firing off together.
No, I think they need that consistent star player. I mean, we've been talking about Forrest, we've been talking about Resh, being potential stars of this team, and I think they show glimpses of it from time to time. We often talk about how much potential Resh has an individual player. Obviously, we know how good Forrest is, but when it comes down to consistently delivering, they need a little bit. When you compare them to a Simple or when you compare them to an Electronic, they deliver 9 out of 10 games, sometimes even 10 out of 10. Whereas a guy like Res, you see him, maybe having 3 or 4 good games out of 10 and then, just average the rest of them. So in terms of NiP, where we expect them to be in the world ranking right now, I think they showcased that level in this game. I think they were around, that 7th to 8th, maybe 9th spot in the world. Whereas for Na'Vi, we expect them to be one of the best in the world, and that's exactly what they showcased here, especially Simple and Electronic, once again showing why they're considered one of the best players in the world.
Well, let's speak to the best in the world now, as Simple is down with Frankie for an interview, so let's find out what they've got to say.
2, 1, light.
Привет! Это Simple. I'm learning my Russian, especially when I watch you guys. Yesterday, Edward taught me Harosh, and I believe that is in order. Congratulations on that win, Simple. Now, talk me through the map, Vito. Why did you pick Dust 2? Why not Mirage for that first map?
I mean, I don't know. just want to practice Dust 2. Just we saw that they're not that good on this map, and they didn't play a lot of this map on official, so why not?
So what was up with your CT side then on Dust 2?
Just pretty hard to play this map when we get entry kills. I mean, when they get entry kills, we always need to save and to leave our economy on good level, and just unlucky game. I don't know, just they went B a few times, they did split, we were 3, and just unlucky rounds.
So how was the feeling in that team after that first map loss?
It was okay, but still we didn't have a good communication between players and coach as well. So yeah, we just came back on Nuke and everything was fine.
Well, we didn't necessarily expect that epic comeback on Nuke because we haven't really seen you play it that much, especially recently. So were you ready with that CT side? Did you practice that in the last week?
Yeah, we practiced a lot this map when we had week preparation. But yeah, we changed new position, and against Vici Gaming, we just tried to play first time, and it didn't work. So now it's second time, and it's much better. So we just were confident on this map.
They did nearly turn the tables though when you switched halves. But if you hadn't won that 3K Deagle, 3K Deagle, if you hadn't got that 3K with the Deagle Simple, it could have all gone very, very wrong indeed. What was going through your mind in that moment in the second half?
I mean, like ace on Nuke?
That's right, yeah, but there was a 3K at the end, right? It was literally like bam, bam, bam. Yeah. I think that's the Russian.
But it was with AK. Yeah. So, I mean, it was awful round by us. We missed Molotov secret, and the guy went out, killed the first guy behind. And after we turned around to kill him, the guy behind City Red went and killed our guy, and at the end they just did a mistake. They just tried to pick me when it was 15 seconds left, so it was their fault that they lost this round. I mean, NiP fault. But after they started to do comeback, and we tried to find what rounds should we do to win against them, and the last 2 rounds was good. I mean, the last round was really good.
One more match between you and the playoffs. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me, Simple. I'm going to try one more word. Pestrov, love you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simple. Let's head back to the desk.